What if the quarterback you just paid $180 million for isn't even your starter? Atlanta Falcons fans, here's where it stands right now. Kirk Cousins, yes, that Kirk Cousins, the seasoned veteran with 13 years of NFL experience and a resume built around being the guy at center, is not Atlanta's QB1. And no, this isn't speculation or media hype. It's coming straight from the guy himself. So hit that like button and I'll keep you posted. I'm not going to dwell on things that aren't reality. Cousins told the press on the first day of mandatory minicamp, "That's not the situation I'm in. Let it happen." Your quarterback, the one with $100 million guaranteed on his contract, showed up at Flowery Branch not as the leader of the offense, but as a backup. And he accepted. This isn't just a subtle shift in the depth chart, it's a dramatic turn of events that few in the NFL saw coming. When Cousins signed with Atlanta this past offseason, everything pointed to him being the man to lead the Falcons into the next chapter. A fresh start, a proven arm, a leadership presence. But then came the 2024 NFL Draft. And with the number 8 overall pick, Atlanta chose Michael Penix Jr. Now, stop and think about that. You don't just throw $45 million a year at a quarterback and then use your top draft pick on his replacement. That's a signal. That's a shift in the organizational vision. And that's exactly what happened in Atlanta. The moment Penix's name was called, the countdown began, not just for his debut, but for Cousins' tenure as the unquestioned starter. The tension didn't take long to build. After a rocky stretch that included a 4-game losing streak, during which Cousins failed to throw a single touchdown and instead tossed 8 interceptions, Atlanta was forced to make a move. Week 16, head coach Raheem Morris handed the keys to Penix. Cousins, the high-paid, high-profile vet, was benched. Let's talk about those final games with Penix at the helm. While the team didn't exactly turn into world beaters overnight, there was an undeniable spark. The offense had rhythm. The energy was different. In 5 appearances, 3 starts, Penix posted decent numbers, 58.1% completion rate, 3 touchdowns, 3 picks, but the impact went beyond the stat sheet. In the season finale against the Carolina Panthers, Penix gave fans a glimpse of what could be: 312 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Yes, the Falcons lost in overtime, but the fire was there. That sense that something was building. That maybe, just maybe, the future had arrived. So where does that leave Cousins? He's now the league's most expensive backup, sitting on a $27.5 million base salary for 2025 and staring down a potential $40 million cap hit. The Falcons tried to trade him. Teams like the Cleveland Browns, Pittsburgh Steelers, Indianapolis Colts, and Houston Texans were floated as potential destinations. But the market? Cold. Ice cold. Especially for a 36-year-old quarterback coming off an Achilles injury. And yet, here he is, showing up, speaking positively about the very quarterback who took his job. "Michael's gonna be great," Cousins said. "He's going to have a great career. He's got all the tangibles and intangibles you need." That's not just professionalism, that's a man who knows the writing is on the wall. The Falcons, for their part, are walking a tightrope. They're keeping Cousins around, maybe hoping for a midseason injury elsewhere that sparks trade interest. But for now, it's Penix's team. And that dynamic? It's going to shape everything in 2025. But there's more. The injuries, the behind-the-scenes decisions, and how the team is managing its depth, all of it factors into what's becoming one of the most unpredictable quarterback sagas in recent Falcons memory. And as we head into training camp, questions still loom large. Falcons fans, what do you make of all this? How do you feel about Cousins being benched after such a high-profile signing? Do you believe Penix is the future, or are you worried about how this QB room is being handled? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's talk about how we got here, because the reality of Kirk Cousins as the backup quarterback in Atlanta didn't happen overnight. It was a slow unraveling, one that began long before he lost the starting job to Michael Penix Jr. and long before he made headlines by skipping voluntary OTAs. When Cousins signed that massive 4-year, $180 million deal with $100 million guaranteed, it wasn't just a financial investment. It was a commitment. A signal to the fan base, the locker room, and the league that Atlanta was ready to win now. The Falcons were tired of the revolving door at quarterback, the offensive stagnation, and the playoff drought. They were betting on stability, leadership, and experience. But stability doesn't survive when performance falters, and Cousins faltered in 2024. A brutal midseason stretch exposed cracks in the foundation. Over 4 games, Cousins couldn't find the end zone even once through the air. 8 interceptions during that span left fans frustrated and coaches questioning. Week 15's ugly win over a struggling Raiders team did nothing to inspire confidence. It was clear to Coach Raheem Morris and his staff that a change wasn't just necessary, it was urgent. Enter Michael Penix Jr., the rookie had been waiting, observing, learning, and when his number was called, he didn't flinch. His debut wasn't a miracle turnaround, but it had something Cousins' recent starts lacked: hope. The ball came out quicker. There was movement in the pocket. Penix extended plays, showed poise under pressure, and, above all, brought energy to the offense. Atlanta's scoring jumped. Their pace quickened. And the vibe shifted. It wasn't just about stats, it was about potential. That potential has now reshaped the quarterback room. Kirk Cousins, once the clear leader, is now on the sidelines, relegated to a mentor role. And he's handling it with class, at least publicly. It's about how we as a team and as a quarterback room can be the best we can be in 2025, he said this week. But you don't need to read between the lines to see the awkwardness. Cousins still wants to start. He said it. He's just not in a position to demand it. And the trade rumors? They haven't died down, but they've lost steam. The Steelers were the last domino to fall when they signed Aaron Rodgers, closing the door on one of the few potential landing spots. Other teams like the Colts or Texans might revisit the idea if injuries hit during training camp, but that's speculation at best. As of now, Cousins isn't just on the roster, he's part of the plan, like it or not. Meanwhile, the Falcons are quietly managing other critical pieces, like the offensive line. Right tackle Caleb McGarry, a veteran presence, is nursing an undisclosed injury. He sat out OTAs and remained limited during minicamp. Head coach Raheem Morris described the approach as cautious, similar to how they're handling Kyle Pitts. But make no mistake, McGarry's performance in 2024 wasn't encouraging. He allowed 6 sacks and 32 pressures. His pass blocking grade from PFF? A mediocre 63.8. That's not going to cut it when your young quarterback is still adjusting to NFL speed. Penix needs protection, and McGarry needs to rebound. The silver lining? Penix's mobility. Unlike Cousins, he can evade pressure and extend plays, which might mask some of the O-line's flaws. But in the NFL, hope is not a strategy. The Falcons know they need McGarry at full strength, and they're betting his time off now will pay dividends later. The real challenge for Atlanta is deeper than just one injury or one quarterback controversy. It's about identity. Is this team truly turning the page? Are they embracing the youth movement and riding with Penix no matter what? Or are they stuck in limbo, unsure whether to trust the new or lean back on the old? It's a high-wire act, and Raheem Morris is the one holding the balance pole. He's got a locker room full of veterans and rookies, big contracts and big dreams, and only so much time to get it right. Training camp will offer some answers, but only some. The real test comes when the lights turn on in week 1. Falcons Nation, your team is at a crossroads. You've got a rookie under center, a $100 million quarterback on the bench, and a coaching staff walking the tightrope of transition. What do you think? Is this the right move? Are the Falcons better off with Penix leading the charge, or should Cousins get another shot? Jump in the comments below. Let us know where you stand on this quarterback shakeup and how you feel about the future of your Falcons. And hey, if you're enjoying this deep dive coverage, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss a beat on your team. Go Falcons!